here with Super Luigi, and we are bringing you the premiere of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Co-op Summer League 2019. Luigi, how are you feeling about this?
I'm quite nervous because I wasn't expecting to be on Randomania Prime tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for everything that's going on. I'm excited for this whole show today. This is going to be pretty impressive, I think, all around. A new kind of event, a new little team thing that we're doing right here today. For those that do not know, this is a 2-on-2 match, 2 teams. All we need is one person from either team to get to Chaos and finish it out. You know, get your key items, do your orbs, do everything that you need to do right there. And then you finish Chaos, you win the game, your team wins the game, and it's no big deal. That is all it takes to win. What are you looking forward to today, Luigi?
What I'm looking forward to tonight is the performance from Minochi and Thunder. So Thunder is a duckling on this team, but he's a really good duckling. He's
amazing.
He's out here with some of the best players in the community, and he's going to give them a run for their money.
It is crazy. Honestly, absolutely crazy what he can do. Yeah, no, I've been watching him in his matches and just his practices and everything else he does. Like we run the duckling seeds weekly, and you know, we're ducklings, obviously.
Yes,
you and I are. We're fairly new to the community, but our seeds, but we're doing well. Hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere in there, depending upon the flags that we're playing and how everything is going. Thunder comes in and he just rocks it in an hour or less, and he's just like, "You're newer than we are. How did you do that? It's stunning."
He's been around just a little bit longer than I have, but he's gotten really good, really fast. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, no, he is a force to be reckoned with. He's going to be one to keep an eye on in this tournament, and in the tournaments to come with On-Rack Summer Vacation after this, and then whatever happens in the fall, he is going to be someone to watch for, up there with Fizzle Beef and Crab Cakes and all the rest of the real players up there, because his performance is just amazing.
Yeah. So
you were going to say?
Okay, so tonight we've got Trash Island Fire Department on the left,
name.
And Thunderous Recap. Thunderous Recap on the right.
Obviously, Thunder is on Thunderous Recap. That name just suits him right there. I believe he's paired up with Minochi, correct?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And the Trash Island Fire Department consists of Tarnin and Lord Fizzlebeef.
So, if you know anything about the community, those are all big names right here. This is a 2-on-2 match to watch for. It is going to be something to behold. And this is the first of 3 matches, potentially, that we're going to have between these two teams. It is a best of 3 match that we're going to be running. So one is going to be today, and I believe they actually have another one scheduled for the next day or 2. So this first inaugural match here, not only of these 2 teams, but of this whole tournament, I am so hyped right now. I don't even have words. Yes. So let's go over the basics of this and make sure that everyone knows what we are going to be doing as far as the basic flags are concerned. This is teamwork, but it is a full entrance shuffle. So all except for towns. Towns are not shuffled, but everything else that you know about the game, where the dungeons are, what dungeons are going to be there, what order the floors are going to be, and you can just throw that right out the window because it is fully shuffled right there. You'll get Corneria, you'll get the other towns, you'll go to Corneria Castle, and suddenly it's not even going to be what you expect. You can get a Flora Temple of Fiends there, you can get Kraken, who knows what you'll get. Oh, it looks like we got our countdown going on right now. So about 4 seconds, and then we'll just see it pick up on the screen. Along with the entrance shuffle, we've got a bunch of other stuff that's going to be going on in here. You can see everyone's loaded up right there. We got our teams up, and we're just waiting for them to pick up. So magic, of course, is shuffled, the standard magic shuffle you'd expect. You got your enemy stats between 40 and 250%, and we have mermaids over at Corneria Castle.
So both teams have decided that for one player to go into the town while the other person goes to check what the castle is, that is standards.
That's pretty smart.
That is
Yeah.
standard for the co-op seed.
Yeah, it's I will admit that the team that I play with Min, who's actually doing tracking for us today, we do things a little different, but it is still very common to have one team go in one direction, one team go in the other, and from the very beginning start splitting things up. Now, so far all I've seen here is I will recheck that. Along with the coral sword, I was about to say we also found the ruby. Now, Luigi, the ruby is actually potentially more useful here than you'd expect otherwise.
Yeah, the ruby. So Titan's Trove can be anywhere out of any of the dungeon entrances, and you can actually use the ruby and say the ruby's in Matoya, and you use the ruby, and you go through the other side, and then you're in the Karya Isles on the other side of the world.
Yeah,
So
that Titan tunnel can take you wherever the other entrance is, and because it's randomized as well, you can end up just about anywhere and have a whole lot more exploration. And considering how early they got this, I would expect to see that happen. Like them go in and just be like, "Yep, I'm gonna follow this and see where this takes me," just to get a little early advantage. So I see Light and Wall in the white magic shops. I hadn't checked before, and Fire 3 and Quad X in the black magic.
Yeah, Fire 3 is a pretty solid spell to have.
I actually like both of those for the early level. Honestly, Fire 3 is a great clearer, a sweeper, and then you got Quad X to take out the early bosses like Garland or Astos if you run across them. It's a good combo all around, especially when you're considering that they're both sharing a level. The charges, they're not really going to compete for charges early game to late game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit of a different team comps going on here between all four players. I don't see any thieves, so they're not going to be utilizing his capability of running.
No, the only ability he has for most of the game.
yeah, that's pretty much the only reason to bring a thief is to run away. Because you can wind up in some pretty dicey areas really fast with the random entrance shuffle.
Yeah.
You can wind up in any of the countless number of sea tiles, which is the bane of my existence early game.
Yeah, there are some dangerous things out there that you have to keep an eye out for, most assuredly. Now, you will note, just for the record, we did notice that the timer hadn't started immediately. I checked when the race started, I added 3 minutes to the timer, and I got it going. It's fairly close, but we'll get an accurate read from the actual race room that's running behind the scenes, so we can tell you exactly when the teams finish up at the end. It's not a big deal. That timer is mostly for our own edification here. So we got, Sky from Bahamut on one end, and you were saying there was a sea palace on the other. That's a lot of danger right there.
Yeah, lots of danger. I personally, Seafloor led to Astos Castle over there for Lord Fizzlebeef.
That's useful to know. I mean, It's not useful to them right now because they don't have the crown, or the key. But that's useful for them to know. And honestly, Seafloor is a great grind spot. This Sky Floor they found is a great grind spot. When they have them, Quad X, depending upon how strong these enemies are, Quad X could take out some of them. And those are some quick, not if the guard decides to destroy everything.
So, Mono just found Sarda, and the team has received the canoe. So, on Thunder's screen, you'll see a red text pop up soon that'll say that Mono has found the canoe.
Yes. And it's interesting to note that... there we go. He's taking his pause now because... There it is. Yeah, part of the thing that you're going to pay attention for is often they will take a pause after they get a key item before they get an encounter, because if you wait for the server to pick it up and share it with your teammate, then if you die or have to reset, that key item stays in your inventory for you to use later. It's a benefit of co-op and something interesting about this. You can do a lot of strategy off of that.
Yeah, a personal favorite strategy that I did in my most recent practice was that we had the key to buy, and I didn't have enough money, so I sold my ribbon to buy it, and then I reset after it entered the system.
That is so smart, and that's the kind of strategy you can do with this, is just sell your gear if you need to buy something, reset back out, get your gear back, and suddenly key items in your inventory, no harm, no foul. So it looks like both sides now have their canoe at this point. That is great progression for them. It's going to open up the rest of the inner sea for them if they find the floater or anything else that they need to do to get around there. Plus, remember, this is only open progression, not extended open, so the river systems will block them in certain ways, as you can see right here. We're so used to seeing the river system not be there for Astos' castle and just be able to get around, but nope, they needed the canoe for that. That was essential.
Yeah. So, in order to get, say, the airship, you will need to have the canoe because the dock won't be there.
Mm-hmm.
That we've become so used to seeing in the spring tournament.
We are. It messes with you. So I did see that Lit 3 was over at the Black Magic shop. I've missed what the White Magic was. Did you get a chance to see it?
Over here in Provoca, I saw
Yes.
Life 2 and Fade.
Ooh, Life 2 and Fade. That knight that they're carrying, that's massive for them. See, this is part of the reason why I actually like bringing for a co-op team. I like doing a double fighter, double red. For moments like that, because you're sitting there going, now everyone on my party is blasting away. And a Dark Gauntlet. Oh, that's so...
Yeah, the Dark Gauntlets. I saw that a little bit earlier and thought it was funny. But it was like, with the level 2 magic like that, both Life 2 and Fade were learnable by the Red Mage. And that's why I really like bringing along Red Mages along here, because they can do both the Black Magic and the White Magic with it. And I saw down on Tarnin's side that he had found Tiamat's room inside of the Astos Castle location.
Nice. Now, I do not believe that randomized boss placement is on, and that's, I think, because that's actually still an alpha channel right now for our Final Fantasy devs. So that Tiamat room is going to be Tiamat. We haven't quite shuffled everything yet.
And as a note, there is a forced war mech on this flag set. So everyone is leaving because typically war mech is harder to fight than Tiamat.
Well, he is. I do find, like, if you compare him to, like, vanilla, I think that Warmech in the randomizer is easier just in general. He's less prone to have all the nasty spells he has normally.
Well, of course, because that's the draw of the randomizer. He can be easier, he can be harder.
Generally, I find Warmech now, that's generally. I'm sure I could commentate or curse these guys if I really wanted to. But generally, I find him easier. But, yeah, even at the levels they're at right now, Warmech is not something they want to touch, even if he is the easiest Warmech you've ever seen.
Yeah, and what Split Punched in the chat just said, I agree completely that if Warmech was not there, I would have tried to fight Tiamat.
100%. Why not? Just maybe he rolled on the 100% side. Maybe he doesn't have anything and he hits like a kitten. It's a possibility. You could do it, I'm sure. Plus, you got that Dark Gauntlet. I mean, Dark Gauntlet height.
The Dark Gauntlet sounds really edgy. I
know,
it.
right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing fast at level 3 from the chat, and then exit at a level 4 white and harm 3. Harm 3 is not bad if you don't have anything, but they already have Fade, so.
Yeah, I just saw Temper at level 6 on Lord Fizzlebeat's screen.
And Confuse at level 4. That's about the best black magic they had at level 4. I'm really feeling that Red Mage here. Oh, and the floater. They are now ready to go up in the air. Fizzlebeat just got the floater.
They're ready to go up in the air. Thunderclad has just found Carrie's room in Elfland Castle.
That is 2 already.
Yeah, that is really early, Fiends. I am used to them clumping all up in the Cardia Isles. That just is something that happens to me.
I'm used to finding one, and then you have to spend 45 minutes digging for the other one, but that's 2 out of the way right now. I mean, it's Shuffle, full entrance Shuffle, and we have Earth Floor 2, it looks like, over here. Full entrance Shuffle means that, what looks like a Jet Seed could not be a Jet Seed or not. Just, you don't know when you get the airship, because everything could be around the Circle C for all you know. But in this particular instance, 2 of the 4 Fiends already, that does feel a little like a Jet Seed right there.
Yeah, it is a little bit. And Lord Fizzlebeef and Tarin have gotten the floater within 10 minutes. Tarin's on his way there. Unfortunately, Mono and Thunder have yet to get it, but Thunder is in Crescent Lake right now, so he will be
You'll have it
picking up
soon.
the floater here in a couple of minutes.
That's not even a question at that point.
Yeah.
You'll have it soon. Because since the towns aren't shuffled, figuring out where to go wasn't a huge deal. We knew he was going to get there eventually.
I just saw it in Fizz 2 and Temper at level 6.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's nice to have those, but at level 6, you're kind of hoping that there's going to be some item that can do the magic for you instead, because I'm not going to have a ton of charges of that. Now, of course, bear in mind that because the item magic is shuffled, you're not going to necessarily find something like a ruse or white shirt or any of those that the power gauntlet you're typically figuring you're going to find. That magic is going to be randomized, and it could be something really good, like a Cure 4 gauntlet, or it could be, as you saw, a Dark gauntlet.
Yeah. So, to note, Mono has just saved Princess Sarah. He has found the Temple of Fiends. I believe it was in Sarda's Cave.
Yes. We have yet to find Canaria Castle, though.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Two freaky items when they get there, but yeah, so far.
Well, not necessarily key items. Because I've got
that is correct, because we did get the Dark Gauntlet. There's a good mix of stuff. 2 free items, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
2 free, potentially decent.
Potentially decent.
Potentially.
Or they can get, like, I don't know, a Dark Gauntlet, like they already got.
Or we did find Canaria. There's the loot.
Yes, so Thunder has found Canaria, but they have not found someone. So
okay, that's at the Cardia Grassy.
Cardia Grassy. So Mono will go there and get the item from Sarah.
Yeah, because that's something to bear in mind. Is that while a lot of this stuff is shared, the defeat of Garland has to be done by each player. Since Mono did the defeat of Garland, Thunder can't turn that in. He has to wait for Mono to do it, or go find Sarah or Garland and Sarah himself.
Right.
We're watching as they slowly make their way through stuff. It is craziness right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and don't really know where to focus right now.
I'm keeping an eye on what I can. So far, they're finding a lot of places with treasure, like the Skyfloor 1 and the Titan Trove, but not a whole lot in there. Oh, those Batmans hit like a truck. Although I'm pretty certain they don't have a lot of equipment right now either.
Yeah, the Batman generally hits really hard. So, yeah, Thunder has reset out of the Gur Medusas. Those are generally good experience, but he probably doesn't have the gear to survive it.
Well, he has the Fire Freeze, and the Gur Medusas are weak to fire. So, but it's also the thing of maybe just wait and try and get them without the bad men in front and do it that way.
Yeah.
Ooh, a Saber Staff. Apparently, we just found that over on the seafloor, if I'm not mistaken. That's a nice find.
And Tarnin has found the dwarves.
Nice.
Right. So, chat. So, when you see a runner sitting there like Tarnin is right now, that means they're writing down notes.
Yep.
And
taking a moment and being like, okay, my partner is going to need to know this. I need to put this on the spreadsheet, let them know where this is at so they can go get it for themselves.
Yeah. I don't believe Mono and Thunder do that very much, because I was watching them last night and they said they don't really communicate that much, but they're lightning fast already.
Yeah, that's the thing, is if you move fast enough, you can take gambles and not worry about notes so much just because you're cruising through it. I know personally when I'm doing stuff like this, any good item like that, like the good swords, Masamune or any of that, I'll put them on my spreadsheet and I'll make notes of it just like, okay, this is where it's at, partner, go find this. We have Ordeals over at Earth Cave whenever we finally find... Actually, that should be... I think Ordeals is free on this flag set.
That should be free, so I think Tarnin is just going to the inn to heal up.
Save. Yeah,
and then going back.
That is smart, because...
After he checks which NPC is here, because that flag is on. And it looks like it's Dr. Un.
Un is with Un. Yeah. Gold bracelets for 21,000, ice armor for 14, pro capes and pro rings. This shop is loaded.
Yeah.
Very lovely.
Yeah, generally, I just end up looking for opal armor because I do a Tarnin's party setup generally.
Now we had Zoas in chat asking how is this tournament set up, as Tarnin shows us the teleporter room, and it's randomized teleporters. Enjoy that, everyone. That is fun.
It seemed to have just been straight up.
So to explain to Zoas as Tarnin goes into the Sky Spider room, we'll keep an eye on his equipment. Essentially, this is a 4-week tournament. Best of 3 matches for each of those weeks between the teams. We got 16 teams right now. We're in the Sweet 16. And this is the premier game of it right now. We got one going on now, and we got one over on Randomania, and that's the first 2 matches of the whole tournament. So it's co-op, and things are shared between the 2 teams. So Trash Island Fire Department and Thunderous Recap, those 2 players on each of those teams are sharing their key items. What you'll see is one of them will pick up a key item, and then at some point you'll then see red text pop up on the other player's screen saying that key item is now in their inventory. And that means that it's shared on the server between the 2 of them. They both can use it. It is available to them at any time. If one of them dies before they make it out with that key item, they don't have to worry about it because it's already saved. The server is like a limitless pocket, basically, of key items for them that they get to store and not worry about. So they're going to be working, trying to figure out... There's an Aegis Shield over on Minochi's side. They're going to be working, trying to figure out where the key items are, where the bosses are, finding what they need, getting through it as fast as possible, and then heading to Topher to kill Chaos. And only one of them has to kill Chaos to finish the game.
That is correct. I'm sitting here just taking this all in.
Oh, it's craziness, isn't it? It's fantastic. I missed what was over in TFC, but that chest. Oh, that chest. And an ice armor. Or ice shield. I gotta tell you, Manochi is getting a really nice build out both for his fighter and for his eventual knight. That's some good stuff right there. And you can see he's taking some notes while Thunder is going around Cardia looking at the gear there. And Fizzlebeef is in Marsh South Basement 1.
Yeah, so there's the one chest in that room and is linked to the top chest. But since they're not going to be together, it is worth checking this chest because you don't know where the top floor is, and there could be a key item in there.
Yeah, and that's something to bear in mind as we see apparently Ice 3 over at the Level 5 Magic Shop in Melman. The fact that the floors are all mixed up, there's stress that you normally wouldn't check because you just take for granted you're going to go hit the north side of Marsh instead of the south side, or you're going to find certain ones in Volcano instead of the ones on the bottom floor. Those chests could be up for grabs, and the game could be expecting you to check them for key items because you're finding them in just about any order. Thundercloud, it looks like, has found the vampire block. I do not believe, though, they have the rod. I haven't seen that reported yet now, of course.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, so I think while he has this, he's not going to be, unless the rod's hiding here, he's not going to be able to continue past it. Meanwhile, apparently, beneath Marsh Basement 1 was the cube block of Sky. I just got a comment. It's not even 20 minutes in, and we have had a crazy amount of progression. Apparently, Thunderclaw's Thunderous Recap has already found the loot, and I missed where that came from. That's one of the 2 key items they're going to need to finish the game.
Yeah, I completely missed that, too. I think it could...
4 screens and 4 chaos, just in every direction. We're going to miss stuff.
Yeah, so... it is absolutely crazy. You got 4 people in 4 different areas.
I'm loving it. It's so good.
They're all over the place. It is fantastic.
Apparently, Septimus is asking for a recap. I'm sorry, Manochi's actually playing. He can't do a recap right now.
Yeah. And so I saw red text just pop up on Mono's screen saying that Thunder has found the adamants.
Oh, that's a nice one. And we do know where the dwarves are at, because I remember seeing them, so that's a turn that they can do fairly quickly. I
don't know where they are, but I saw them.
Yeah, I think dwarves are at least a dungeon floor down. I mean, it's not our job to keep up with where everything's at, but yeah, no. There's the adamant showing up again. Yeah, so yeah, they'll be able to turn that in once they remember where the dwarves are at, and then we get to bask in the fact that they had to go do that, which is hysterical for us.
and there is a possibility that it is lazy dwarves.
Yep.
But that's unlikely with the flake set that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the runners from both teams have opted out for the mid-game interviews. Which is unfortunate because I really wanted to ask Mile for a recap.
Yeah, I know. I was like, when I saw that they were playing, the very first thing I wanted to do was like, okay, halfway in, ask for a mono recap. Just so he could then sit there and go, stuff happened.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, wow. So it does seem like they're, to a certain extent, I mean, they've gone in every direction. There's a lot of searching going on, but in some places they're rechecking ground that others have already managed to find.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with like the key, some of these places they're finding, they can't completely check.
If they find a marsh bottom, they will have to go back unless they have the key.
Mm-hmm.
Due to there being an item in the marsh lock chest on this flake set.
Yeah.
So
he's progressing over here. I'm wondering if I mean, maybe he does have the rod and we missed it.
I don't...
Apparently there was another loose item that he found, Thunder just found in Earth as well.
He found the crown.
That's a lot that's open right there. And a heal 3 staff up on the Sky Spider side on Minochi.
Heal 3 staff is probably one of the better magic items you can get defensive-wise.
It really is. That is some really, really great casting. Because the heal staff, or the heal helm in the original game, I believe is just... Honestly, I think it's just heal 1.
I think it's heal 1.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a nice little overall coverage, but it's at most like 30 points of healing per person. It feels like you're spending more time doing it than you're actually getting a benefit. Heal 3, however, though, cast that a couple times, your party is fine. You can recover from just about anything. Nuke can roll right off of you.
Yeah, you can find Cure 4 axes like in my last practice. Those were nice.
Love those. I
love those are fantastic. They're almost as good as like nuke helmets, in my opinion.
I actually prioritize the Cure ones over the over damage though. Cure 4, because Cure 4 is just one of those ones where you can just sit there and spam that against the fiend bosses, and it makes really nasty fiends not that bad at all. You just 2-man last few bosses and you're fine.
Yeah.
I did see Lord Fizzlebeef just pick up the katana. That's not going to do him any good, except for money, because no one here has a thief.
No one here has a thief. The forced and banned this week is banned black belt forever.
Yeah,
there's no black belt in this tournament.
Entire tournament too. We are black beltless for the entire tournament.
Yeah, the reasoning behind that is that it's just easy for one player to just bunker down somewhere and just grind them up, and then it's not as interesting. That I believe that is the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I like my black belts sometimes. I don't play it very often. I do like them, but this is the kind of thing where you have one person going and doing progression while the other person just basically power levels to 50, and it kind of imbalances the whole point of what we're doing here. So, yeah, I fully agree with the decision not to have the black belt in this instance.
Yeah, and then there's no forced class for this tournament.
At least not unless something happens and the admins get all mean and decide to change things up on us. But we've seen all the flag sets so far. We shouldn't have that happen. It should be pretty... What you're seeing right now as far as party comps, this should be what you can kind of expect for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, you'll generally find you'll always have one fighter on a team and at least 2 casters, generally. And it is a pretty balanced team. You can, you can bring along a thief if you have decided for one person to just dive really fast through dungeons and run away from everything. That is a valid strategy. Is it the best strategy? I don't know. It works. So
I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at doing this, and apparently it looks like we've just found the crystal over on Lord Fizzlebeef's side. So that was in this dungeon as well. Then that's crystal and crown and adamant all in this one area.
I believe the crystal was in Castle of Ordeals. That Farden was
Okay,
in.
cool.
Yeah.
Too much going on. Hard to keep up.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. I don't blame you for missing that. Yeah.
But no, there's a number of different ways that you can think about doing this. From like how you want to do your exploration. You set one person up to be just the wild card and go searching in every direction, while the other team like plods along a little behind, taking more battles. I see the Oxyales over at the caravan. That's good knowledge to have.
That's good knowledge to have.
Mm-hmm. And that's that kind of one where when it's priced at 45,000, you do what you were saying. Sell your stuff, buy it, reset. Don't worry about it.
I missed the Fade Gauntlet pickup that Thunderclad has. Yeah, that is a fantastic item to have.
And I see that we now have the key from Sarah.
Oh,
I'm not certain the other side picked that up yet, but so that's a nice key item to have. And there's a ribbon lurking in Quanaria Castle.
As usual, those are always really good. And there was a fast staff there too.
Fast stick! Oh wow!
That is fantastic.
Yeah, with Saber Stick, Fast Stick, Heal 3 Stick, Fade Gauntlet or Fade Shirt or something you're saying? That's
there's a Fade Bonk. Yeah.
The item magic in this game suddenly improved after that Dark Gauntlet.
Yeah. It's like, there's always a Dark Gauntlet. It might not be the Dark spell, but it's almost generally as useful as Dark, which is to say, not very useful.
I usually tend to find like an A-Moot or a for like Gauntlet or Axe or something. I'm like, yeah. I know you have use, you're better than Dark, but not by much.
Yeah. I generally end up finding, say, like an A-Rub shirt. It's like, okay, that's helpful. I'm not going to use it over my other spells, though.
Yeah.
It's like, generally, I'd only use that until I got ribbons.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, we don't appreciate so many of the ones that we have because, you know, those ribbons. They usually serve us so well.
Yeah, you can find ribbons just about anywhere. There is still only 3 in the game for this plague set. It's a different story next week, though. But I have run a few of the week 2 plagues.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the towns ended up getting into the shuffle, and then there's also... What was I saying?
I don't want to interrupt you. I'm letting you do your thing.
Yeah. No, I lost my train of thought.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I was just double checking to make sure we had everything clicked off we should on the tracker over there.
Oh yeah, so and the couple of the all the week 2 ones I've only ran a few. We've always ended up getting a full party of ribbons.
Okay, so it wasn't a key item, but I'm fairly certain I just saw that adamant turn into a Masamune.
The Masamune is always a great pickup to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a key item, but I don't think you're ever going to complain about getting that Masamune.
No, you're not. It's like, it is the best weapon to swing generally at this stage of the game. Well, of course, it's going to be the best at this stage of the game because they're all unpromoted.
At this stage of the game, yeah. For most of the game, I mean, depending upon how bad the boss stats are, if we have, I mean, with 100 to 200% scaling, bosses really aren't going to be that bad. Later in the tournament, though, when the scaling gets up there, then you might not want to use your Masamune. You might need to switch over to the Vorpal just to get the critical hit so you can make it through a high evade boss. But yeah,
Lord Fizzlebeef has actually just picked up the Vorpal and the Herb.
And Tarnin has the Bottle. So Herb and Bottle have both just come in.
I believe Thunder has just bought in the the caravan item is just waiting it out. Yeah, so
Yep.
Oxyale just popped up. So what he doesn't quite know is that you do not have to wait for it to pop up on your partner's screen. Generally, when I grab an item that I'm going to be resetting out of and I want it to keep, I actually count to 14. You can count to 10, and it should be in the system by then.
And Septimus correcting me, it's not the high evade, it's the high absorb bosses that need the Vorpal. Yeah. Words, man.
Yeah. Yeah, for the high evade ones, you'll want weapons with higher hits, which I believe would be the Masa for that.
You want to try and overwhelming force them with the number of hits you got. That makes sense.
Yeah, and magic.
Mm-hmm.
Because magic always hits.
Yeah, the pump out the nukes and run, basically. Yep. Or, as Ray Fates Caleb in the chat says, use lock strats.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right now, Lock and Lock 2 are not always going to hit because that's in the alpha channel, So it looks like Fizzlebeef right now, with a chunk of his money, is going through and picking up some of the necessary equipment that we had over here at Melman, because Melman had some amazing equipment. Meanwhile, Thunder has found the C-split, so he's going to be able to explore that, and Tarnin has just picked up the ship.
Oh, that's helpful.
It's a key item.
Yeah,
I mean, even if it doesn't really help them with anything, that gets them on their way to their 12 key items and 200%, which I believe at this point they should be past.
They should have it at this point.
13.
Because, so there's the free bridge and the free canal. They count.
Yep. So it's really just 10 items past the bridge and canal that they have to get. So yeah, they're on their bonus percent. So now they're earning 8 times experience plus 500. That is pretty nice experience right there. They have the loot and the key. All they need to do at this point is figure out where the last 2 fiends are, get themselves charged up, and they are good to go.
I do not believe any of them have actually fought a fiend yet.
We would have noticed that. There would have been much yelling and screaming, and it would have been awesome.
Yeah, chat would have let us know. A vanilla C-split. So let me tell you about the C-split. I hate it. I hate it so much. Because you got once is like you could have so the C-split can go anywhere. Like both sides can go anywhere. You can have the left go for say 15 floors and then the right only goes 1, and you check the left side first, find nothing, you come back, and then on the right side, Lich is sitting there. And then you're like, I could have checked this like 40 minutes ago before I went through all that stuff. So
now, speaking of, it does appear that Minochi is going to be our first to attempt a fiend, and it looks like he's doing it with the Coral Sword.
He's using the Coral Sword.
That is bold right there.
That is
indeed.
That is pretty bold, but he's got the Saber Stick, he's got Fast, he's got Fade.
I mean, come on, as Hangry Canuck has already proven to us in the past, if you're going to buff anyone, you need to buff your Black Mage with the dagger. That's how that works.
Yeah, Black Mage and the dagger is like putting peanut butter on a sandwich. It just works.
I am seeing something in chat about a Quad X defense sword. Did we just see a Quad X sword?
Yes, we did. It replaced the defense sword, so it doesn't have an icon.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah. From the bottle turn-in. I mean...
Oh, from bottle turn, yeah.
That would be nicer if that it has appeared a little earlier in the game, but, you know. And in the time it took for us to discuss that, Minochi has already killed Carrie, because Carrie won's a little more than the speed bump.
And Lord Fizzlebeef has killed Astos, and Astos has had the tail.
Okay, that tail is very nice. There's a lot of good equipment they found that they they definitely are going to want to start using. So get that. Have we found Bahamut?
I saw Bahamut hanging out in Elfland Castle.
There we go. So, if you can figure out where to turn the herb, you can do both a tail turn in and get your thing from the prince at the same time. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tail is very helpful. And with Minochi having taken out the first fiend at the 35-minute mark, we are starting to cruise our way in. And that's something to highlight the co-op tournament in comparison to other stuff, as Tarnan has found Kraken's floor and is off towards Kraken. The fiends are going to start falling very quickly, and the game is going to move very fast. If you were watching the spring tournament, it was very often that people would take their time, really get themselves geared up, check the key items, and we might not see a fiend fall until the 45-minute mark. And then from there, Topher often wouldn't happen for a while. But Tardan's already put Kraken on the board. Minochi's put Carry on the board. That's one fiend each, just around the 36-minute mark, and it's going to fly from here.
Tardan must be a master seafood chef, because I looked away and I looked back and the Kraken was gone.
Rackstrats. Rackstrats are the way to go.
Oh, you bracked him.
Pretty certain. Pretty certain. But even if it was that or he was just low health with a Masamune, and either way, that's still death.
That is. Bracken into pieces.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bracken into pieces. I assume when we look away and look back and he's already gone. That's Brackstrats right there.
Yeah. Or it could be Rub Strats. I've rubbed Kraken once.
Keep that to yourself. That's gross.
Borking into pizzas.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
So with that, Tarnan has actually done his class change with Bahamut, who's hiding in the Elf Castle on the east side of the sea split. So, yeah, I'm thinking at this point with the equipment they have and where they're at this point, this is not going to take much longer here. Especially when we already know where 3 of the 4 fiends are, and yeah, this is a fast seed so far. As we said, you can get a jet seed real quick in co-op.
Yeah. Don't have much to add to that.
Yep, no. Fizzle is definitely falling behind, so he can go get his class change.
Yeah, so they're going to have to keep an eye out for the dragon armor. I thought I saw it over on Thunderous recap side. It must have been Thunder who picked it up, because I'm pretty sure I saw dragon armor in his inventory.
It is the thing, though. You can get away without dragon. You can live with opal, which is just about as good with the ribbon. You can also live with ice or fire armor if you have it. We're only talking 1 to 200% scaling on the bosses, 40 to 250% scaling on the enemies. Opal and dragon are nice, but at this level of scaling, they're not essential.
That's correct.
Especially with parties of this caliber.
I was like, I've done it before. I like to run 2 fires, so I like to have one all geared out and then I have the other one in opal gear, but I make do with what I can get.
Yeah, you settle for what you can find, and in all honesty, the party comp and the build-up they have already is not bad. And I'm hearing that the Marsh split is up in Mirage, and looks like we're getting a Ice Cave dive now. And since we still have a few things that we can't clear through, there's a cube block and a rod block that we can't get through.
It's a possibility that Lich is behind one of those.
Other Shadow asking if there's any restrictions on what spells can lie on an item in chat. The only restriction is that it has to be a spell you can use in combat. So you're not going to find like a warp or an exit stick, for example.
Or life.
Yeah, but if you can use it in combat, you can get a stick for it. Look like a Harm 3 axe. That's a nice upgrade to the standard light axe. Not entirely essential at this point of the game, unless you want to sling it at Lich 2, but it's not a bad thing to keep around.
So we just missed Thunder killing Kraken. So since that happened so fast, I'm going to believe that Kraken is made out of paper.
Yeah. Absolute paper.
Nuke gauntlets are great. Man, they really are.
I mean, the Fade gauntlet that we have is practically good enough.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's pretty much the same thing, just with a different name.
Damage output is slightly lower, but they're both non-elemental spells, and if you get one, you're not sad to not have the other. Like, that's seriously what it is. Ruse at level 2, along with Fade and Life 2, that fighter comp is just brilliant for that spells.
Yeah, I don't see the fires shooting out Fades very often. They're probably just going to be packing around Life 2 for...
Yeah, that's what I'd do. I mean, you save the Life 2s until the end game, and if you get to Chaos with a few charges left, then you start dumping the Ruses on you if you don't already have a Ruse stick. So, it works out well in that respect.
So I saw that it was Marsha Bottom inside of the waterfall, and the cube was in there.
That's good. We had a cube block we have to get through. So that's one more key item they don't have to worry about. And he's about to get that cube. Meanwhile, checking the eye tile, which is actually mummies. We have randomized tiles. Always fun. And then actually, he got the 5 Wiz 4 mummy pack on this one. That's actually a really nice pack.
That is a really nice experience.
Mm-hmm.
I personally would prefer an eye. There's less turns of them potentially doing something bad.
I agree with that. And I mean, there are better tiles that you can get than the eye or the agamas in these particular instances.
Yeah, you can find the metal slime tile. You can find mud golems. Those are both pretty good.
Did you see what was in the treasure chest? Because Mono went so fast I didn't even see it.
No, I didn't see it.
Mono, slow down for just a second. Oh, a
soft
potion. That's a slap in the face right there.
And Thunder has just picked up the cube.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be ready to go. I see Lord Fizzlebeef has just sold his katana.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't you? I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I normally just end up dropping it. It's a habit of mine. It's like, I don't need this stuff. I'm in the middle of a dungeon. I can't sell this right now. Drop it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I do say they also have a Cure 3 hammer as well. That's not a bad item either. It's pretty useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a Cure 4 hammer, but you'll make do with what you get.
I believe it is better at healing a single target better than the Heal 3 does.
Yes. The Cures are better at that in that regard. Although, if you have the Heal 3 stick, I'd probably just get rid of the Cure, because why have both?
Yeah, I see that Thunder has found the eye tile. He has just found it.
Well, that's what he's going to be doing for a little while.
Yeah, he's probably going to grab at least a few levels off of it, and then he'll be going on his way. Or he's going on his way right now.
Or he can just make us a liar. Okay, sure, thanks. While Fizzlebeef is attacking Carrie, Carrie tries to sing a lullaby to the party, put them to sleep. Only one of them fell for it, the rest of them were having none of that. They are blasting out with their magics, coming full board down. Fighter swings out with that Masamune. Carrie is down. So that puts both teams up 2-2.
2-2. So they've been neck and neck this whole game. It's hard to grasp how close they are just due to how chaotic co-op really is.
It's like right now they're doing all their accomplishments at basically the same time. One after the other or close to. It feels like really it's going to come down to levels and gear gamble and how willing they are to go into Topher with what they have.
Yeah, looking at the tracker, Thunderous Recap is missing a few items that T.I.F.D have, which would be the herb, the tail, and I'm not quite sure what that icon is between the tail and the adamants.
Bottle,
okay. Hooray! Somebody talk to the hooray. Yeah. So they're missing that, but
close in items. It's just a couple that one has that the other is missing. So
yeah, T.I.F.D is missing the chime, which is the big thing that Thunderous Recap have over them.
Xcal hiding over in the Fire Treasury. good sword to have. Can't use it right now because he hasn't class changed yet. And honestly, with Masamune and other stuff floating out there, I don't see Xcal getting a lot of use.
Yeah, I don't see Xcal getting any use unless he puts the Mazda on the white mage, I suppose, because none of those guys are really good at swinging.
We have Vorpal, we have Quad X, we have the Quad X defense sword. A ribbon sitting there in the treasury. We have Masamune. Xcal is good, but in comparison to a Vorp and a Maza, I don't know.
I don't think they're actually going to be using that. Tarnan might be using it, but I doubt it as well, unless he does not have the Vorpal.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, sometimes you want everyone to swing. I get that, but... So yeah, we know where Tiamat is at. They just need to be able to, get through it and take care of that, while it looks like Tarnan's about to turn into Herb. Herb turn in Go, so the Elf Prince can be visited over at the C-Split.
So the Elf Prince is going to be waking up on the other side of the planet.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it?
Yep. So that's what was behind Q blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be picking up the rod or the TNT or
a whammy.
Or any other item that the game wants to give them.
Yeah, or just the whammy. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
And there's TNT there on Minochi's side.
So that's another turn into the dwarfs they can do. I believe they've already turned into adamant.
Yeah, for the Masamune.
Yeah.
If they haven't already turned it in, then that's a good item along with a key item for them.
Mm-hmm.
And Thunder finding that they still don't have the herb, so they can't do that turn-in just yet. Looks like he's taking a moment to figure out where he wants to go, and then moving on from there.
Yeah, there is quite a lot to wrap your head around.
So much going on at once.
So much going on here. So what it seems like right now is that Lich is rod locked. Because they've checked pretty much everywhere.
Did they go through the Q block? Because I don't remember seeing that.
They went through the Q block. That's where the elf doctor was.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. So, what we just saw over on Thunderous recap side was that Mile went to translate the slab, and Thunder is going to wait here at the Lefanian for the translation to come through. And he got the Opal bracelet, which is a good item to get. It is the
great item. Yeah, again, it's one of those ones you're not going to complain about having, but it's not the progression they were looking for.
And Lord Fizzlebeef is fighting our Lord and Savior Warmech.
Ballsy right there. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Looking at the HP on his knights, I would have to say that he's either in the late teens or early 20s on that knight. It was 521-ish.
It's doable. I mean, it just depends on what Warmech has, but that is doable at that point.
Yeah,
he's cranking out. Warmech is just plinking back with chip damage.
He's certainly got the gear to take him down.
And he did.
Yep.
And 16,000 experience right there. He's getting 3 levels per character. That was what he needed. Now, do you just go fight Tiamat, or do you go and save? Nope, he goes and fights. Nice.
He goes to fight. He's playing it risky.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on. Well, this is not that far into this dungeon.
Tiamat 1 is not going to be anywhere near as bad as Warmech, sort of 4 nukes in a row from him.
Yeah, and Lord Fizzlebeef has also gotten 3 or 4 levels off of Warmech, so that makes Tiamat a lot easier as well.
Yeah, Tiamat swipes at the fighter, and the fighter just shrugs it off, and then gets brought.
And bracken into pieces.
So that puts them up 3-2. While Thunderous Recap is still searching around for the gear they're looking for and the last couple of items they need. We need the Rod, and we need Lich.
Yeah. So at this point, Lich should be behind the Rod, unless there's somewhere they have not checked yet.
Well, we've seen most of the turn-ins at this point. We don't know what's behind the TNT. We don't know what the herb actually becomes yet. But we've seen just about everything else that we can get. I think at this point it really does have to be Rod behind one of those two items. And then, because we've seen most of the rest of the entrances at this point, I'd be willing to bet you're right. I think Lich is hiding behind the Rod block. Almost vanilla at that point.
We got a French vanilla going on there. Lord Fizzlebeef checking the chest that I always forget exists. Inside the Castle of Ordeals.
And we get the AI shirt. Oh, the AI shirt.
The AI shirt.
We had enough good spells. It's not a big deal at this point.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal. Yeah, it's like you also have like Ice Shield or Ice Armor or Dragon Armor and the ribbons, so it's not as useful as it would have been earlier on in the game. But it's still potential armor that you can throw onto your white wizard or your black wizard, because it is the best armor they can wear. Oh,
and there's the rod from the Elf Prince. Mono just turned in the herb, so as soon as he gets over there, he'll be able to do this. But this means that when Tarnin or Fizzlebeef head over to Cardia Tiny, they are going to be able to figure out what's behind the rod block. And if our supposition is correct, that is going to be Lich.
And that should put them into go mode. Well,
they find Lich, yeah.
As soon as they find Lich, they're go mode. They might go grind a little bit. I doubt it.
Or not. Yeah.
I doubt it, because Lord Fizzlebeef is at good levels for taking Topher. It's level 25 across the board. It looks like
that's pretty strong for this. Yeah, that's almost over leveled basically for the party. Scaling that we have going on right now. Yeah, it looks like Fizzle's just gonna hang out here and wait until they figure out what's behind the rod block, and if it's Lich, he's just gonna straight on dive in. So we are waiting with bated breath to find out what is behind this rod block.
Okay, and Mono has pulled Warmech, so we can look at his glistening magnificence. It's very shiny. And Mono's gonna fill him full of dents, and that doesn't make me feel happy.
Oh, that robot chicken! Come on, you can take on that robot chicken, Monochi. So I see we have a seafloor behind the rod block.
Yeah, it looks like Thunder is also running up to fight Warmech, which
well, it's good experience.
It's good experience, but I don't know if it's the right call because they're doubling up in the dungeon. And generally,
I guess it really depends on what they expect to find and what their plan is. And that's Earth 1.
And Tarn is just go-moing it. He's not even checking.
And there is Lich. Deep behind that rod block, we have found Lich. T.F.D is in go mode.
Lord Fizzlebeef will just be stocking up to get ready to take on Topher. Because
he doesn't need much, just needs to get going.
He doesn't need much, he needs to stock up on health potions, maybe pick up a couple of spells, but I believe he is good on the spell front.
Lich has actually survived more damage than I expected. He went an entire round of sword hits and fade charges and didn't fall down. Lich got some health.
So Lich 1 is bulkier than both Kraken 1 and Carry 1, which is surprising.
How funny is that? He must have rolled high on the 200%, while Kraken and Carry rolled low on the 100%.
Yeah, and Tiamat rolled high as well, I believe.
It's hard to tell because we see him get broken into pieces. But
yeah.
At 54 minutes and about 35 seconds, they have all 4 orbs on the board. They are ready to go explore Topher as soon as they're done doing their shopping.
So this is quite the jet seed. I haven't really seen sub 1 hour go into Topher quite.
Well, you're about to see it right now.
Yeah. So Lord Fizzlebeef is lining up his heal pots. Something I like doing. in the middle of the run.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get them set up.
Yeah, gotta get them set up because it takes a lot of time to go through through the menu and chugging dozens and dozens and dozens of heal pots over the course of a Topher.
And then he walked away for a second. Did he forget a spell he needed?
He's picking up Invis too.
Yeah,
That is a great spell to pick up. It'll increase his survivability by a ton.
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to really need that, especially since we haven't found anything like Ruse or Invis on the items that they've gotten. So all that item magic has gone to more or less attacks and weapon buffs. So this is something they're definitely going to need. They're going to want it. Those spells are going to come in very handy. Now they're going to have to figure out how much of it they want to conserve.
And Lord Fizzlebeef is just going to slap Garland around a little bit before going into Topher.
There was a Garland? I didn't see a Garland.
Yeah. Well, I saw the Black Mage slap him, and then he was dead. So.
And yeah, at 56 minutes and 21 seconds, Fizzlebeef is the first to truly enter Temple of Fiends, and it looks like he is just straight cruising. There's no grinding going on or anything like that. He is just pump and run and on his way.
And Taran will be right on his tail entering it. So.
And that's the thing. Like you were saying earlier, you didn't see why both of them would go and do Tiamat at the same time because that's doubling up on dungeons when they need to do other exploration. But once you're at Topher, you both beat yourself against it because even if one of you two dies, the other one might not.
Yeah, that's true, and that's something I have to remind my co-op partner of quite a bit. It's like, hey, so you could do grinding in here because we've got that huge experience boost. Almost every fight in here can be worth taking, especially the Green Dragon fight that Taran just took.
Yeah, I mean, you saw how good the experience was when they killed Warmech with all 4 players up. That was over 16,000 experience. With 4 characters up, that's a crazy amount of experience.
That is. And Lord Fizzlebeef also just ran away from a really good encounter of 4 mud golems.
Mm-hmm.
And
giving Lich absolutely no respect as Lich does a little gentle clawing of 12 damage against the fighter and immediately disappears.
Yeah, disappears. No respect for Lich.
No respect. That had to be at the very low end of the 100% clamp for that Lich because he was barely there.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to show Carrie too much respect. He might heal up a little bit before fighting Carrie, but I don't think he's going to buff himself up for Carrie because Carrie is generally also a pushover with his plague set.
Yeah. No, with the stats we're looking at, Lich is a speed bump and Carrie is a glorified speed bump. We don't really have to start concerning ourselves until Kraken, and even then, at these stats, you take a consideration, but you probably don't buff as much as you would at the higher levels of play. So we got a Fade coming out, we got Fast Charge going off, 3 hits for 3 hits for a certain amount of damage. That was pretty strong. Fighter is actually dead. Ow.
Ow. Okay.
Ow.
Yeah,
So
Carrie hurt.
Hits like a truck.
Yeah. And
she has enough to survive that Quad X. That's bad timing on the Quad X.
Yeah, bad turn order for the Black Wizard there.
Rub comes out, doesn't do anything. That's a free turn. That's safe. That was a low roll on that Fade, only 110 damage though. Carrie wipes out another Red Mage. If she takes one more,
okay.
Lucky.
Carrie 2 is down. Taran has pulled the Lich 2.
I mean, that was close for Fizzlebeef right there. If Carrie had survived one more round and gotten that Red Mage, which she was one-shotting everything when she actually attacked, he would have been out of life casts and he would have had to basically restart this dungeon because that Black Mage is not getting through it on his own.
Thunderous Recap has just gotten the rod, so they will be in Topher shortly.
Yeah, they're gonna have another couple minutes before they're ready to do that if they don't do some shopping as well. Thankfully, the waters here on the seafloor are runnable, so Lord Fizzlebeef is able to get away from that encounter. Meanwhile, Tarnan decided to take the Agma counter. I'm thinking he probably wasn't able to get away from it and just decided to take it because why not? Good experience.
Yeah, I do that too. If I can't run away from a fight that gives decent experience in 1 or 2 turns, I just decide to kill it.
And now we actually get a little bit of respect for Kraken by putting the Black Mage up front. Fighter does his Saber stick, got an Invis 2 cast out from one Red Mage. Kraken destroys the Red Mage, but he already got his cast off, so who cares? Invis 2 comes out from the other Red Mage, Fast comes off. That's a nice amount of buff, and we're going to see what happens next. Temper. And apparently attack. Okay. 4 hits for 657. That's nice damage. It was solid damage there. Ice 3 comes out, doesn't do a lot, but chip damage is great. Black Mage is down. You just need one of your 2 warriors to survive this. 5 hits for 951 is going to take out Kraken, and that's going to be enough right there. And then you just revive back up again.
Revive right back up. He revives the Red Mage. You have that Red Mage use a charge to revive the Black Mage, and then you're good to go to Tiamat. So Mono has just defeated Lich, so they should be entering Temple of Fiends soon. I believe Thunder is entering it right now.
The timer as they do it. So we got buffing going out again. Trying to decide how they want to buff this one. Fast charge comes out. Fade casts out. Okay, and at 101.34, Thunderclaw is in Temple of Fiends.
This could potentially be a close race.
This is anyone's match right now. One bad fiend and anyone could take this.
And not sure why Amano's going back to Earth 1 chests. They should be in go. They never found the tail. That's what he might be looking for.
Ah, that would do it. That sucks.
Yeah.
So Thunder is going to risk it, and then Mono's going to go searching for it. That makes a lot of sense right there. Doesn't look like Tiamat has a lot of absorb. Fighter was getting through. Hit strongly, but not that strongly. Only able to take out the Black Wizard, and that was why the Black Wizard was front, was to take that hit.
Okay. So down on Taran's side, there is only a warrior that survived the encounter with Kraken. Lord Fizzlebeef is pulling Chaos at, say, about 1 hour, 2 minutes, 33 seconds.
So we're doing our standard round of buffing. Invis 2, Invis 2, and a Temper from the top mages, and I think that was a Saber Stick once again. And Chaos has Fast! Yes! Come on, Chaos, show us what you got.
So Chaos comes out swinging with that cast of Fast. He should
he
shred
lets the
through.
Team get their first. Yep.
He should.
Lets the team get their first round of buffs though, so that's good for news for them. Stop doesn't do anything. That's a free turn. Another Invis 2, and the Saber follow up with another Invis 2. He's going to be most of the way soon. That Fast isn't even going to be a concern. And the Temper. 2 rounds of buffing.
And now they're going to be attacking.
Mm-hmm. Fade Cast comes out. 143. Fighter follows up. 983. This is not going to take very long.
This isn't going to take very long unless Chaos just absolutely destroys the knight.
At this point, fire chip damage, slow 2 hits the wrong person, doesn't matter. Fire 3 chip damage, another Mazamoon hit, over 1,000 damage.
1,054.
And just temper the fighter at this point. Why not? It doesn't even matter. Fire 3 chip, Fire 3 chip, and this... 1,000 damage, and that's it.
Terminate.
At 104.04 on our timer, T.I.F.D has taken the match. I'm going to go double check that.
They have got an official time of 103.48.
Nice. GG's to T.I.F.D. Trash Island Fire Department number 9 has won the match.
Yeah. So Taran is still going to fight Chaos just for fun.
Well, yeah, you finish this out because you're here. I can't blame them at all for that.
Yeah, don't blame them at all. I personally like to do the same thing.
I'm fully on board with that. That is that you're here, you want to finish because you want to finish. But GG's to that team. That was a fantastic 103, sub 104. That is just amazing, and that's the power of the co-op tournament. It's just how fast this can go when you got 2 people sharing their key items and just blasting through it.
That is the fastest time I have seen for a co-op. what
And it
these
shows
flags.
that T.I.F.D is a team to keep an eye on here.
Yeah, they both are very strong teams. So it's like, as we were saying inside the Discord channel, this matchup could have been the final matchup, but they got them each other in round one.
And the thing is, I don't necessarily think that Thunderous Recap did anything wrong, per se. I mean, their exploration was strong. They were keeping up neck and neck for a while. They were only a couple minutes behind T.I.F.D when coming into Temple of Fiends. It's just the order of where they went and how they played the scavenger hunt is the difference between like win and loss at this point. They have the levels, they have the gear, they're good players. It's just they didn't do anything wrong. They just, this time around they got a little outplayed. That's all it is.
Yeah, they're still very strong.
Mm-hmm.
They can still take game 2 to force a game 3.
Because that is the thing. There are 2 more games to go. We are going to see in the coming days who actually takes this matchup.
And what a match that will be.
Mm-hmm. So Tarnan is still chipping away over here at Chaos. Meanwhile, Kraken takes down Thunderclaw's Black Mage at the front, but that's what the Black Mage is for.
And we are joined in the booth by Lord Fizzlebeef.
GG's.
Hello.
Hey, that was a blistering time.
That was an adventure.
Yeah, that was really fast. It's like, it was all over the place. It was hard to keep up.
Hey,
GG.
Hey.
We both got through the chaos. That's the rules with this game, right?
So, what were your guys' thoughts on the seed? How do you think that played out?
So did Mono and Thunder take white?
I'm looking at their screen right now. I see at least one white mage. I'll double check once the other person's out of their menu, but there's one white mage.
They both have white mages.
Yeah, so that's what I was terrified this whole time with that level 4 exit. Like, exit in this flag set without access to warp. Exit is such a gigantic time. And I had watched a couple of their matches, and they had been running a white mage in each party. And so, like, I felt super behind the whole time. So I was super worried that with them each having exit, their clear speed would be far superior to ours. And then also with the trolley bunch of super deep dungeons and like the required triple dipping of dungeons, I was worried that we were very behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the key difference between what you guys did and what they did is you found the herb and did the herb turn-in faster than they did, and because of where Lich was buried, that was the key difference.
Oh, yeah. We did get kind of lucky on the order at which we found Lich. That is true. I hadn't really thought about that while we were playing.
And as a note, they did not find the tail. You guys did.
Oh, man, that tail was so important to us being done now instead of done in 20 minutes.
How did they not find tail? That I'm pretty sure that was crown turn-in, and that was right at Matoya. That was super easy.
They may not have turned it in.
What they don't keep notes.
Yeah, there's that.
There's that. Yeah, they don't keep notes.
We have an amazing color-coded spreadsheet system. It's something to behold.
And complete and replete with typos and confused spellings and lots of caps lock, lots and lots of caps.
Oh yeah, no. The importance of what we need to know for later is determined by just how many capital letters are there when we make the note.
Yeah. For reference, Titan East is listed in all caps as "Go north at the thing, deep, deep, having 7 E's."
Okay, I need to pause you guys for just a second, just because Thunder is at Chaos right now with just a solo fighter, and I want to give him the due process to see what's going on here.
Absolutely, go for it. Call it.
Yeah, so he does his saber, and Chaos tries to stop him, and then Chaos, of course, had fast, which he cast as well. Blasting out, slow to hit.
Slow 2.
Yep.
Oh no.
Does he have the fast staff on that fighter?
No, I think he only had the saber staff.
He only has the saber. And Mono just picked up the tail from Astos. Yeah, so Thunder just wiped to Chaos.
Yeah, that was over quick. And I do see that they have just forfeited at this point. So GG, both of them, they did a great job trying for it.
I hope they get in here so we can hear how it went from their point.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that.
They should be in here momentarily. If they want to jump in, they can.
If they want.
If they don't, I can just drag them in because I'm a jerk.
Well, here, give me 1 second. I'll go double check. Oh, here we go. We'll
Yeah.
double check right now and see if they want to jump in. But yeah, so on the whole, how'd you feel about this? It seemed like some of the fiends were pretty bad. Some of the fiends were like speed bumps.
I mean, it's tough to really tell the difficulty of the fiends because we put so many of them on the back burner for later. Like the only one we took up front was Kraken, and that was more of it's faster. It's faster to exit this dungeon by brackening this Kraken.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't want to have to walk out of that thing, and the Brack landed, so that's lucky. Lich 1 surviving a level 23 Vorpal Mazza Fade was impressive.
He was beefy. That Lich was surprisingly beefy. So we got Mono and Thunder in here as well. GG's to both of you. That was rough there.
Hey, GG Thunder,
GG guys.
GG.
GG.
I can't wait to see how you guys' run went. How did it go?
It goes fine, I guess, except for some notes.
Yeah, well, all right.
So, as a note, you guys were neck and neck for quite a while. T.I.F.D had turned in the herb a little bit faster than you guys, which gave them the rods for them to go kill Lich faster and to get into Temple of Fiends first. So, and that seems to have been the main difference maker for
that and the tail.
And the tail, yes, the tail.
And the tail.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick seed, 103. Pretty impressive time there.
Yeah, that is our PB. Our PB before this was 106, so 103.48 is a nice 2 and change minutes off of our PB so far. So I'm pretty happy.
Yep.
Yeah, GG.
We were kind of, I at least was really terrified because, like, since you guys both had white mages, you guys had exit access, and we did not have exit across our whole party until after. So I was really worried that you guys were way ahead of us.
I had supreme confidence in Tarnin's ability to find Lich while I just kind of dirtled around in orbit over TOF.
I saw you doing that, just like running air donuts.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all part of the strategy.
And what a strategy that was. I was so fixated on it.
So, like, how do you think like certain things played out? Were you happy with where certain things were hidden, or how things worked out? Were there things that you think you'd do differently?
The lack of nuke was a little bit disheartening, but at least there was level 2 fade and level 2 life 2, so that's helpful.
Level 2 life 2 was...
And a fade gauntlet.
Yeah, the fade gauntlet was nice, but the level 2 life 2 was huge. I don't think made it through that seed without it. It really, I mean, I just kept dying so much in the early game that it was the thing that was my life. The fade gauntlet I got late enough that it didn't help a lot. I mean, it was nice to have, don't get me wrong, but as for doing things differently, I don't know. I'm really, really proud of how we played today.
Yep.
What would I do differently? The first 3 minutes, I would have my fingers input things correctly instead of dirtling around in mermaids walking the wrong way and then missing input 2 minutes. But
also we could have not collected 2 rubies. That would have been cool.
Yes, not collected would have been cool. We like were in communication about where the rubies were. Did not effective. I did not understand which chest it was in. So
yeah, we missed the whole ruby thing because of how much stuff was going on.
The first couple of seconds watching 4 screens sounds like a. Thunder, what about you guys? How did it go? Were there things you guys would do differently?
I think what we did worked well, but we did have a little bit of like where did you say this was? Double tell me where this was towards the end. Like especially the herb turn-in got a little rocky, communicating back and forth. But I don't think it cost us a ton of time. But
the herb turn-in was a confusing mess of go here.
Yeah, the Q block, elf nurse, all that.
Yeah. Q block elf into go to on rack, go right. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Notes are good.
Yep. Can't confirm.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You don't need notes. You don't
Nope.
need no notes. You just
That's
play
exactly
through.
right. That's exactly right. You don't need notes. Remember that for game 2.
Oh, speaking of game, well, we can do that off.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I'm super hyped about co-op. I'm glad it's finally started. I'm terrified by our opponents because they're amazing. Like, if we get lucky enough to beat them a second game, I really think that this could have been a finals match, us versus them. So, it sucks that one of us is getting knocked out here. I hope it's them for obvious reasons, but if it's us, we're losing to 2 amazing players. And Thunder, welcome to the community. I think this was your first, restreamed race like this, right?
Yeah, this was my first competitive race, really, that was
Wow.
streamed on a main event.
Yeah, it's
GG,
awesome.
man.
Yeah.
You're doing amazing for how new
You do it,
you are.
You're
Seriously.
fine.
This was a stream of firsts. It's my first official commentary on one of these events. It was Thunder's first time being restreamed. It was Caleb's first time restreaming. So
Yep. Great all around. Well,
And
I appreciate the game you guys played. I think that was something to be proud of on both sides. Fantastic job all around, and you should be proud of tonight's effort.
thanks.
Yeah,
Awesome.
my closing thought here is I just want to say that I blame Mono.
You're allowed to.
I
Damn
hear
it.
blaming Mono is trendy these days.
Mono recap.
What?
We lost.
What
Yeah,
do you
that
mean we
the
lost?
chat was asking over and over again for a mono recap, and we just couldn't give them one. I was so sad.
It's player one
Yeah.
that's won, man. It's not no one wins. Player one's win.
So next time we've got to get you guys on the left side so you are player one.
Was that our advantage? Our advantage was the left side advantage.
All right, guys. Well, GG's to both of you, and I think we should probably wrap this up and let Randomania have their room back. I'm Dark Moon. I was joined in the booth by Super Luigi 52. We had Min on tracking and Rafe Hates Caleb doing the restream. Make sure that you follow all the people who helped present, all the people who played, Lord Fizzlebeef, Manochi85, Tarnin, Thunderclawed. They put in a great match, and we do all of this for you guys. So give them your follows, give them your love, give them your support. Luigi, you got anything else?
No, I don't. Just hey, Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to avenge me after my loss this week.
You're assuming I'm going to get further than you.
Well, I think with that, we are going to let it go. From Randomania, this has been the Final Fantasy Summer Co-op Tournament. Good night.
Good night.